Life is like a vapor. On October 9th, 1995, I dove into a wave, shattered 4 vertebrae in my neck, and I drowned. If you survive dying, it changes how you live. God opened my eyes to his heart for the poor, but I needed to see it firsthand. I flew over to Africa, and for a month, I stayed in a slum. I remember walking by a trash dump, a place where people surviving in extreme poverty were throwing their refuge. And as I walked by this dump, I saw 3 boys. They were incredibly decimated by poverty. And then horror gripped my being as I watched one of them reach down into the muck and begin to feed himself. And I knew that minute that I was going to spend the rest of my life trying to forget what I saw or spend the rest of my life trying to do something about it. And that's when God birthed the vision we call Vapor Ministries. When I came back to the US and we began to work on scaling the model, we knew at some point that we were going to execute on a business that would be a part of the broader ministry globally. So I went back to our then team, or then what we called our inside group, our leadership team, and I said, let's take 1 week, let's pray, fast. We came back and sat at the table, and one of my leaders stood up and said, hey, I think we should look at the idea of a thrift store.
Thrifting is cool. Someone's merchandise that's been in storage.
You never know what's coming in the door, what condition it's going to be in.
It's either been in a building, it's dusty, it's dirty, but it's valuable.
David Johnson, he's a unicorn. This guy that had rose the ranks of Walmart, he comes on as a manager at one of our individual stores. He got here and worked the floor.
We don't want to be a boutique per se, but we do want to be boutique-ish.
We don't want to just put stuff out on the shelf and shove it on there and hope somebody buys it. We want to have forethought and think about it and make it clean.
Like when you walk in the door, it just feels different.
There's happy team members that's ready to serve them, and so we've really worked hard to create that type of environment.
He and his team are great at thrift. He's passionate about it.
Well, it's more than a thrift store. Sometimes I think we should have our own show, really.
My average work week for the 32 years I was with Walmart is probably 70 hours. I was tired. I just began to pray. I was like, God, I've done all of this work, but I want whatever I do for the rest of the way. I was 54 years old. I want whatever I do to matter in eternity.
Everybody was kind of like, I cannot believe you're giving up real estate. I'm like, yeah, I'm giving it up. Prayed about it. I was just like, and I don't know what it is, but I think I want to call.
I met a lady that was working out on the sales floor, and I told her I just moved there and I would want a job. And she's like, we're hiring. We have a truck driving position.
Our heart was to serve him on the mission field, but we wanted to actually move internationally. Different doors began to close. A friend of mine suggested that I just find a local job where you can, see what is next over maybe an extended period of time. And he suggested Vapor Thrift Store. That was 7 years ago.
One of the things that we struggled with was getting people to understand that our team members have needs too.
So I was speaking at a corporate event, and their senior leader and I were sitting down. Everything I was talking about, it was mission over there, and our margin this, our margin this. And finally he looked at me and he said, Micah, you're missing it.
We honestly realized that we weren't taking really good care of those that were getting the work done for us.
I've got this thing with this mission that I'm going to be doing alone if I don't do this different, and I can't carry the weight.
So we had to reset.
Culture is powerful, and it's ridiculously important. Our culture and our God calls us to care for the work and the worker. It's not mutually exclusive.
He's a God of love, but he also is a God of accountability, right? Coming from an operator that just sees what has to be done, let's deliver results, taking people away from productivity in the moment to build toward a future that's going to matter is a challenge.
The culture isn't anything if there's nobody fostering it, right?
It's our responsibility to connect them to something bigger. God is a God of second chances. So many of our team members are people who have been through some level of rehabilitation. They're just looking for a job.
They might be going through something difficult in their life, and they showed up to work today. That's a holy moment.
How are you doing spiritually? How are you doing personally? How are you doing professionally? And how can I serve you?
So, hey, I want to know about what's going on in your life, and I really do care.
Sabrina specifically, I had some stuff that was heavy. We walked into our one-on-one, and she goes, "Can I pray?"
It's more than just a workplace. It's like a family.
They call me Mama Bear. I'm there for them so that if they have questions, if they need help, we have conversations.
The tone that we have here at this store is people first. Whether it's a customer, the customer comes through and they're like, man, I've got this going on in my life. I've seen some team members stop what they're doing and they'll be like, hey, let's pray about it. And they'll stop and pray right at the register.
I kind of started threading all of the values in my home life so that I could be a better, not only person, but a mother, wife, daughter, sister, friend.
I don't have family here. Me and my wife, and we have a 8-year-old son. Vapor allows me to, if I need to, be at my son's concert or something. Not just fathering from afar, but hands-on with my son.
We're not co-workers. We're team members.
The way I treat that team member who's cleaning up the item and putting the price on it and putting it out on the floor, that's an opportunity for me to show God's love to them. He allows me to be a small little part of that.
A God that's incredible as he is chooses to use people like me. I think for so many people, it's so unfortunate that we compartmentalize our work and our faith.
You know, you might say secular or sacred, you might say professional or personal.
And they have to be meshed together.
It's all holy. It's all His.
My work is my worship.
The mission, the vision that we have to meet needs, feed souls, elevate God, to help people that are trapped in global extreme poverty to find hope in their life.
When I went to Haiti for the first time, I thought I grew up poor. What we do matters. It matters in Haiti and in Africa, but it also matters to the people I come in contact with every day. When my life is done, when my work is done, that's really all we're going to have. Like, I left a business that I poured my life into for 32 years. What I treasure most is the people. I know that He has me here for a reason. It's for this moment, for this season. Embracing the fact that life truly is a vapor.
If you live it well, you only need one life.